Flexion. If you could hear the lies your mind tells you the way I do, you'd never believe them again. Reflection today, right now, I'm about to show you how to silence the voice that's been stealing your future, reflection, and unlock the one that was built to change your life. Every time a negative thought rises in your mind, it arrives dressed like truth, sounding like certainty, reflection, and pretending to know your limits, but you must train yourself to pause and question it before it settles in your spirit. That voice that whispers you're not enough is not wisdom, reflection. It's residue from old moments where you felt powerless, old memories that never learned how to heal, and old fears that think they still own you. Reflection. But the moment you stop accepting those thoughts as facts, you begin to reclaim your mental territory and walk back into your strength. Reflection. You challenge those thoughts the same way Denzel would challenge a lie in a scene, with calm authority, presence, and unshakable conviction. Ask that thought, who sent you? Reflection. What proof do you have? And watch how it trembles under the weight of your awareness. Most negative thoughts cannot survive inspection because they were never built on truth, only emotion, reflection. And when you expose what isn't true, your confidence begins to breathe again. You don't fight negativity with force, you fight it with clarity, and clarity always wins. Reflection. Because once you can see the lie, you no longer bow to it. You must understand that your mind is powerful and programmable, but it behaves according to the patterns you allow. Reflection and negativity becomes a pattern when you stop questioning it. The human brain remembers pain more easily than success, reflection. So it tends to replay your worst moments like a broken record until you start scratching the surface and rewriting the track. Reflection, you interrupt negative thinking by refusing to let it repeat without resistance. And you do that by challenging every automatic doubt the moment it appears. When fear says, flexion, you can't do this, respond with, prove it. And fear will have nothing to say because fear only survives when you stay silent. You are not fighting a monster, reflection. You are fighting a shadow, and shadows disappear when light hits them. That light is your awareness, your reasoning, your presence. The more you question negative thoughts, the weaker they become, reflection. And the weaker they become, the stronger you feel. And strength is not something you find outside. It is something you build inside by refusing to give space to anything that tries to shrink you. Reflection, challenging negative thoughts is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about refusing to be ruled by assumptions and illusions that were never real to begin with. Reflection. Your mind has a habit of exaggerating problems, predicting worst-case scenarios, and replaying failures that no longer define you, but you don't have to accept every projection it creates. Reflection. You can stand in the middle of your mental storm and say, I see what you're trying to do, but I'm choosing differently today. That choice is power. Reflection, that choice rewires the pathways in your brain, replacing survival mode with growth mode, fear with curiosity, and doubt with determination. It teaches your mind that you are not fragile. Reflection, you are aware, and awareness is the beginning of transformation. You reclaim your identity piece by piece every time you challenge a thought that tries to reduce you. And over time, reflection, those challenges become your natural response, your new reflex, your mental armor. Because once you practice examining your thoughts, reflection, you stop being controlled by them and start controlling the direction of your life. Your negative thoughts do not come from the future, they come from your past, reflection. And your past does not own you unless you let it repeat itself unchecked. When a thought tells you you're not capable, it is not describing your reality, it is describing your history, reflection. And history is not destiny. But if you never question those thoughts, they shape your actions, and your actions shape your results, reflection, and your results reinforce the same beliefs that held you back in the first place. This is the cycle you must break, the mental loop you must interrupt with courage, honesty, and presence. Reflection, you stand in front of your doubt like Denzel stands in front of adversity, calm, unafraid, grounded in truth. You remind yourself, reflection, I've survived more than this thought will ever understand. You don't allow negativity to speak louder than your purpose, because your purpose is the real voice, the deeper voice, reflection, the voice that was waiting beneath all the noise. And every time you challenge a negative thought, reflection, you dig closer to that voice and give it room to rise. You must learn to speak life into yourself, because the world will never stop trying to speak doubt into you, reflection. And if you don't build your own voice, you will end up believing the wrong one, the weaker one, the one that was never meant to guide your destiny. Every morning you wake up, reflection. You set the tone for your mind with the first words you allow yourself to hear. And if those words are filled with strength, purpose, and clarity, reflection, your entire day begins with power instead of fear. You remind yourself that you are capable even when you feel uncertain. Reflection, you remind yourself you are worthy even when life tries to make you question it. And you remind yourself that growth is happening even on the days it feels invisible. Reflection, your voice becomes your anchor, the steady force that keeps you from drifting into negative thinking when storms start to rise inside your mind. You speak to yourself with intention. Reflection, not arrogance but affirmation, not ego but truth, because your mind is always listening and always learning from the words you repeat. When you talk to yourself with conviction, reflection, your brain responds by building new patterns and new beliefs that support the life you want instead of the fears you want to escape. And the more you speak life, the more natural it becomes. Reflection, until positivity isn't a performance but a habit, a reflex, a default state, you must be willing to nurture your mind the same way you nurture a dream, with patience, repetition, reflection, and unwavering commitment, because the voice you develop inside yourself will become the voice that carries you through every challenge ahead. Reflection, your inner dialogue is not a small thing. It is the foundation of your confidence, your focus, your energy, and your resilience. And when you take control of that dialogue, reflection, you take control of your destiny. People underestimate the power of words, yet words are the very thoughts that build your actions, the actions that shape your habits. Reflection, and the habits that form your future. If you speak weakness, you behave weak. If you speak strength, you behave strong. If you speak possibility, you behave like someone who is ready to rise. Reflection, the mind doesn't argue with the messages it receives. It accepts them, stores them, and repeats them back to you in moments of pressure. Reflection, that is why you must feed it with words that elevate you instead of shrinking you, words that push you forward instead of pulling you back. Reflection, words that remind you who you're becoming instead of who you used to be. When you speak life, you build identity. Reflection, and identity is stronger than motivation because identity tells you what you deserve and what you are capable of achieving. So talk to yourself like a leader, like a survivor. Reflection, like someone who is in the process of evolving into something greater than your past, because that is exactly what you are doing. Your voice should be the soundtrack of your growth. Reflection, the force that keeps you aligned with the version of you that refuses to settle. And when the world tries to tell you a different story, reflection, your inner voice becomes the shield that protects your purpose from outside noise. Your self-talk is your greatest source of power, and the moment you learn to master it, you become unstoppable. Reflection, there will be days when your mind tries to return to old patterns, old doubts, and old fears, but that is exactly when your voice must rise the loudest, the strongest, the most certain. Reflection, you must remind yourself that setbacks don't define your worth, mistakes don't erase your progress, and imperfections don't disqualify your future. Reflection, speak to yourself with the same compassion you offer others, the same encouragement you give to people you care about, because you deserve that same energy directed inward. Reflection, tell yourself that you are still learning, still growing, still moving forward, even if the pace feels slow or the path feels unclear. Reflection, your voice becomes the bridge between where you are and where you're going, and without that bridge, your mind can easily fall back into negativity. But when you consistently speak life, reflection, you create emotional momentum, mental stability, and spiritual direction that guide you through every stage of your journey. You become your own source of reassurance, reflection, your own reminder of strength, your own proof that healing is happening even on the quiet days. And that is how you build a mind that supports you instead of sabotaging you. Reflection, because every positive word you speak is a seed planted in your future, a seed that grows into belief, belief that grows into action, and action that grows into transformation. Reflection, you must end each day with the same energy you begin it, with intentional words that lift you, ground you, and remind you that you are still on the path to becoming your best self. Reflection, tell yourself that you did enough, that you learned something, that you grew in ways you might not even see yet, because this is how you protect your peace and prepare your mind for tomorrow. Reflection, your voice must be your comfort at night and your courage in the morning, the steady rhythm that keeps you aligned with your purpose even when life gets heavy. Reflection, speak life until your doubts retreat, until your fears quiet down, until your confidence becomes unshakable. Reflection, speak life until the world's negativity can no longer penetrate the walls you've built inside your own mind. Speak life because your future depends on the words you choose today. Reflection, speak life because the strongest person you will ever meet is the one you are becoming. Reflection, and speak life because you deserve to hear the truth about your potential from the person who knows it best.